everyone, this is Olena and Yuri. Today we'd like to share our experience and our approach to choosing hotels when we travel. Neither of us has ever been a fan of sleeping in tents. When we were young, we didn't really have the opportunity to travel, and even if we didn't have tents or reliable transportation. Later, as we grew older, we began to truly appreciate comfort, a clean and cozy bed, the safety of four walls, a shower, breakfast, and of course, free internet. Not so long ago, when we were traveling across the United States before Google and modern booking websites, finding a hotel often happened directly on the road. We used brochures with discount coupons, which were easy to find in visitor centers, especially near state or provincial borders. These coupons not only offered significant discounts but also included short descriptions of hotel services. A large family room, sometimes even with a small kitchen, could cost as little as $25 to $45 per night. Many of these hotels had pools, saunas, and jacuzzis, which felt like a luxury at the time. Our very first experience with an American hotel, however, was terrible. A friend booked a room for us at Red Roof Hotel in Greensboro in 2005. The room turned out to be a smoking room, dirty, tiny, and without air conditioning. Breakfast consisted of a warm brown liquid called coffee and some half-dried oatmeal cookies. And all of this was not cheap. At the time, we didn't know that we could move to another hotel nearby. We endured several uncomfortable days while attending a conference, but thankfully the positive emotion during the day compensated for the unpleasant nights. Today, thanks to the internet, booking hotels has become much easier and much more transparent. So what are our personal criteria when choosing a hotel? Respectful communication with staff helps us feel valued and encourages better service. For both of us, a hotel is first of all a place to sleep, somewhere we come mainly for the night. That means our first basic requirement is simple. There must be at least one large bed or ideally two. For a long time, sleeping in hotel conditions was difficult for us. Several nights in a row could pass almost without sleep. Over time, however, we learned to adapt and can now sleep almost anywhere. If we know that we'll arrive very late and leave early the next morning, we don't book an expensive hotel. Even so, sometimes it's tempting to treat ourselves. For example, we really wanted to stay overnight at the Stanley Hotel, a famous historic hotel in Colorado. But we could only reach the town around midnight, and early the next morning we had to drive to Utah. We've been to Estes Park 3 times, but only briefly. We decided that one day we'll come back for several days, and then we'll gladly stay at this hotel. A cozy home-like place called the White House Inn in Vermont turned out to be closed for deep cleaning during the off-season. Still, the gardener kindly allowed us to look around the house. Staying there is definitely on our list for the future. We learned about one of the most beautiful hotels in the world, the Equinox, entirely by chance. We were tired after a long hike and decided to stop for lunch, and we were glad we did. Next time we plan not just to visit but to stay there. In Iceland, we unexpectedly found ourselves in the opening of a new hotel at the Blue Lagoon, the Retreat at Blue Lagoon, Iceland. It's exclusive, modern, and not inexpensive, but the service was exceptionally warm and welcoming. We truly enjoyed our stay and would love to return. We do have a list of hotels we'd like to stay in someday. It's not very long, but it exists. We also remain open to pleasant surprises which keep travel exciting for us. Another important criterion for us is breakfast. We love having our morning coffee with a pastry right at the hotel, and sharing these tips can help you enjoy similar comfort effortlessly. Parking is important to us. Also, in many European cities, parking often requires an additional fee. This is sometimes we always consider in advance. Free internet is also essential. It allows us to stay in touch with family before bed, review routes for the next day, and quickly find additional information if we need it. Of course, it is enjoyable to relax in a swimming pool before bed, cool off, or spend some time in sauna. However, quite often we arrive at the hotel late in the evening and there isn't enough time or energy to use these facilities. We usually choose hotels closer to highways. This is very convenient when we need to continue our journey the next morning. Hotels near major roads are also usually more affordable than those located in city centers. We book hotels through different platforms. When traveling in the United States or Canada, we often use Hotwire. The main advantage of this website is the ability to find very good quality hotels at significant lower prices. The site does not reveal the hotel name until after booking, but the location map lets you choose the area that best suits you. Once the booking and usually the payment is completed, all hotel details become available. Most of the hotels offered on this platform are newer and recently renovated and complete for higher ratings, which usually means good conditions and a high level of service. We have never been disappointed with these hotels. The downside of booking through platforms like Hotwire is not knowing the hotel name until after payment, which can cause uncertainty. We mitigate this by relying on reviews and ratings, helping readers feel more secure in the choices despite the lack of initial details. Other platforms we use include Booking.com, Trip.com, and Hotels.com, and occasionally others. It is crucial to read the booking and cancellation conditions carefully. Cancellations can be free or paid, and sometimes the cancellation fee can be higher than the cost of the room itself. In some instances, it's actually cheaper not to cancel and not to show up than to pay a cancellation penalty. Booking through Airbnb is usually worthwhile when the whole family or several people are traveling together. In most cases, you rent an entire apartment or house and everyone can have their own room. We don't like booking single rooms with shared bathrooms or staying in hostels. Also, once in Prague, we did spend a night in a hostel. Hostels are generally a younger style of accommodation designed for travelers with limited budgets, minimal luggage, and a willingness to share rooms. We value privacy, and that's important to us. As we continue posting our travel, we'll share the pros and cons of different hotels. We also be honest and say that some of our most disappointed experiences, both in services and room quality, were in hotels where management standards were clearly poor. Very often the description did not match reality. This is not meant to offend anyone. It's simply an observation based on personal experience. Many travelers don't realize that in many hotels you can request complimentary items such as toothpaste, a toothbrush, or shaving razor. If you are missing towels, shampoo, soap, or tissue, don't try to make do. Call the front desk and ask for what you need. Not all hotels provide coffee makers, hair dryers, refrigerators, or irons in the room, but these items can often be requested separately, sometimes even free of charge. When we traveled with children, we usually brought our own small coffee maker and a compact electric cooker, which let us boil, fry, and heat simple meals. We deeply respect the work of housekeeping staff. We never leave trash on the floor or on the bed. These people work hard, often for modest pay, so we leave a tip when possible. We also have a personal rule: never argue with hotel staff. If something is missing or isn't right, we speak calmly and politely and very often people go out of the way to help. Once in South Carolina, we found a giant cockroach in our room, almost like a local pet in that region. It wasn't pleasant, of course. Even so, we were not afraid of insects. We contacted the front desk and we were immediately moved to a larger renovated room that met modern standards. On another occasion, in a different US hotel, our reserved room was mistakenly occupied. We were disappointed, but asked calmly what could be done. We were immediately accommodated in nearby hotel, upgraded to a large luxury suite, and given a significant discount for the inconvenience. In the end, we actually saved money. We could share many similar stories, but one principle always proves true. The way you approach people often determines how they respond to you. Because we try to stay calm, friendly, and respectful, we usually met by people like us. If your approach to travel and choosing hotel resonates with you, you are very welcome to join our channel. We'll continue sharing real experiences, practical tips, and thoughtful observations from our journeys. Thank you for being with us. Stay tuned.